I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Hello racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Friday, August the 24th races at Hastings, 7 o'clock post. 4 stakes races on the program. Sales Stakes Day, as we do showcase our former CTHS sales graduates. Of course, the sale coming up on September the 11th, the preview on September the 10th. Of course,
and we'll be doing our usual at the Derby Bar and Grill. Me and Mike go over the sales catalog. If you want to come out, that's going to be on Thursday, September 6th at 6 o'clock. We will be doing it in the Derby Bar and Grill. You want to come and catch that.
Also have a preview of the North American Thoroughbred horse ones on September the 4th at Keenbridge. Everyone's invited. That's a Tuesday, September the 4th. They'll be previewing. There'll be food and some refreshments. And but yeah, always exciting times when the stars of tomorrow are being offered, and that's coming up, in early September. Of course, the sale itself on September the 11th, but we'll get into the action. The ones that went through the sale. We'll start off in race number 1. Not a lot of them in race number 1. Not a lot to.
Not a big field here.
No, field of 3 in the 3 and 4-year-old
fillies.
Going a mile on the 16th. Cypress Park, Dazzling Dawn, and Yukon Bell. I'm going to try Yukon Bell. Of course, I'll be cheering for her. A little bit of a bias there, but she didn't break well at all last time.
I want to see her on the lead, exactly.
And that's where she's got to be in this.
She runs her best races on the lead. Last time she didn't break well and basically lost all hope there.
Like Cypress Park was fast in her first start in a maiden. Her next 2 starts, she hasn't been handy away from there. Dazzling Dawn hasn't been handy away from the gate at all in her races there, but so maybe she'll break a little better. I don't know. But Yukon Bell is definitely the best. Probably the speediest, but I mean that's her best chance to win the race. Dazzling Dawn's the best horse; she can win from last. But where Yukon Bell can't win from last, she has to be aggressive, go and hopefully her speed takes her all the way. But
and in a 3-horse field, there is a little bit of forgiveness there. If she doesn't break 100%, she could still get the lead. Last time, in a field of 7, she kind of
They were flying up front. It was crazy.
They went, and she kind of got left.
Judy was in the race. Peach Pike.
Yeah, that's right.
It was Touching Promise and Good Luck to You. They were.
Everybody was going.
The second quarter was 22 4/5. I mean, it was a really oddly run race, but it just didn't favor her, and she was behind Notice the Jewel, which is not where she wants to run, and she managed to get 3rd. But her prior races, you see she has speed, and she lost to Victress and Top Quality, and I think Victress and Top Quality would be pretty tough in this race. So I got to try Yukon Bell to maybe upset last year's horse of the year, Dazzling Dawn, who is great to see her back in town by the Red Leaf Stable. Of course, is headed by Paul Caravetta, our good friend, and Blaine Wright trains, shipped it up to John Snow. Just hasn't gotten on track this year, but I can see why. 5/8 on the grass. That's more of an experiment. She's not a 5/8 horse.
The 25th of May, too, where you're behind the 8 ball running against these fillies in California that are dead fit.
Then came back on July 1st and ran wide the whole race, and pretty much was a non-factor. She ran a lot better last time with the blinkers on, and just Reginella and Top Quality are 2 nice fillies, also trained by Blaine Wright, that ran 1-2 in the Emerald Distaff. And she ran a good. She just got touched at a 3rd. She ran a good race. She's obviously in a lot easier today. And Cypress Park's it's a 3-year-old filly tackling 2 4-year-olds. But Cypress Park's a nice filly too. It would have been nice to see her have another race, but obviously there's a reason why she hasn't had another race since July 1st. But she had a nice work a couple of weeks back and won 14-1. All 3 fillies are quality fillies, and Dazzling Dawn though has the best resume. But I'm just gonna hope Yukon Bell gets her done. I went 3-2-1.
I don't have a whole lot to add. I went to Dazzling Dawn. She's back to her home court. She's 9 for 11 lifetime here at Hastings with a second. She ran second in the fantasy as a 2-year-old. Her first start, something went amiss. She was pulled up. But ever since then, she's just been lights out here at Hastings. As
Yukon
you mentioned,
Bell, what was the one that beat her? That was the fantasy.
That's right. That's right. She beat her in the fantasy 2 years ago. As you mentioned, she was down at Golden Gate, then Emerald, but she's back here on our home court. I'm going to take Dazzling Dawn over Yukon Bell, and I agree. Cypress Park's a talented filly, but this is a big test for her. Run against these 4-year-old fillies, Yukon Bell and Dazzling Dawn.
She'll give a good account. She's a nice filly.
She sure is. I went 2-3-1 in the first. On to the second, 2-year-old fillies, going 6.5 furlongs, field of 7. I went to the 1 out of the Anita Bolton Barn, Honky Tonk Woman for the Felichellas. Nice Daughter of Violence here. 2 good races. Good second in her first start in the main special weight against Stay Fantastic. Came back with a good effort. Dancing Shoes could not have been more impressive in her first start in the debutante on BC Cup Day. Billy's a nice filly too. either one of those two would look
no.
pretty salty in here.
Tonk,
Honky Tonk Woman for me on top. I'm going to give GMT Baby another try. She got cooked on the head end last time, 21-3 and 45, and fell apart naturally. But a little softer fractions, and she could be dangerous in here. Go back to that race, 2 starts ago. Got a 46 buyer, broker maiden pretty comfortably over some decent horses. And I threw in Notice. Mark Lucci having a good year. Another one that was in that pace duel last time, 21-3. Another one just got cooked.
Kind of beat each other up.
Yeah, I'd like to see them just take a little bit more hold. Aaron Greider rides Notice again today. I went 1-7-2.
Yeah, where the Felicellas and Anita Bolton maybe are, tackling the tough ones in race number 1. They look to be the boss in race number 2
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Honky Tonk Woman. A good third behind Dancing Shoes and Billy in open company. Gets in against sales stakes horses. This is a considerably easier race for Honky Tonk Woman. She's your horse to beat. She ran really well last time. We should note that Richard Hamill is not riding today.
Yes.
His mother passed away, and they're doing a ceremony.
He's up
and
dealing
that's
with
why,
the service, yeah.
Yeah, service. That's why Richard is not riding today. You'll notice he's not on any of the. He would have had quite a few live horses, but obviously, hopefully, a great day for Richard. It's always difficult, but that's why Richard is not riding today. But Enrique Gonzalez will pick up the mount on Honky Tonk Woman, who is strictly the horse to beat. I put the 3 Hefty Ransom in for second. Filly by Shaking It Up out of Harbor. The Gold Mare was in our sale, and the workouts haven't been spectacular, but the last one was very good in 101 flat. And I trust Jon Snow. Gordy's Christoph and John hooked up for a nice winner in Brave Nation last weekend, and Scott Williams will ride. I just think there's something there with this filly. I think there's a lot of speed in the race. It looks like the 2, the 4, the 5, the 7 all have speed. So 4 of the 7 runners should be out there battling, and maybe someone that maybe breaks a little slow, like a first-time starter like Hefty Ransom, may come running on late and get a piece of it. And I agree with GMT Baby. I put her in for third. 137 for me in the CTHS sales stakes for the 2-year-old fillies. On to the third race. We have the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings going 6.5 furlongs. I went to the 4 Bugsy. Chased a hot pace last time. Was sitting third, maybe a little too close to a 21-2, 45 flat. Prior to that, it was Summerland. He's been running in some pretty tough open company races. This is considerably easier. I don't think the pace will be anywhere near as crazy as that. Dale Perez rides for Dino, and he is the horse to beat. Put the 8-horse Call It a Wrap in for second. Very impressive maiden score. Just did defeat Explode, and Patty Dioro rallied from, really. What I'd like to see is really improve from start 1 to start 2.
Yeah.
Of course, quite green in his debut, but really seemed to not put it all together in start 2, but really did improve.
Yeah.
And Aaron Greido will pick up the mount for Richard. And I put the 5-horse Lucian Harbor in for third. I thought probably the one out of the Call It a Wrap race that might move forward even more. Just his first start. And I thought he did some good things late in the race. He did a lot of things poorly early in the race, but I think he'll move forward.
Yeah.
I think he will be more of a factor. I went 4, 8, and 5. I went with Bugsy.
I went to the 8. I went to Call It a Wrap.
Yeah,
He's a big, good-looking
coordinator.
son of Finale. I was impressed just visually when he was in the paddock and looking at him. He's a big, good-looking boy, and he ran like it. I was really impressed. Really, as you mentioned, his progression from his first race to his second race, he really put it together. Looked super professional. Coming from off the pace, was extending well down the lane to pass all these horses and get up for the win. I like Call It a Wrap over Bugs, as you mentioned. He's going to be a short price. He's the horse to beat when you look at who he's been running against. This is an easier spot for him. Amadeo Perez sticks with. And I threw in Patty Dioro.
Yep,
For our friend cameraman Ryan here, the Century Plaza Stables. Good third last
Granny
time.
owns the horse.
Yep, that's right. Good for Granny. Good third last time in that Call It a Wrap race. That was a live maiden special weight with Call It a Wrap Explode. It was the other one, Aleutian Harbor, you mentioned, was in there. That was a live heat. And just a horse that, was kind of fair notice first 2 starts. Seemed to put it together last time and run a big race. Blinkers go off today. Silvina Morales has the call. 8-4-6 for me in the boys, 2-year-old boys race. On to the 4th, 3- and 4-year-old Colts and Geldings, the sale stakes, field of 6. Number 2, Straight Remark, looks like he's going to be pretty.
Just pops off the page, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He stands out in here. One optional 35 here back on the 6th of May pretty comfortably, beating Crackdown. Silvertown, a pretty fast heat that day. Came back to the George Royal. That was a little bit too deep. Went down to Emerald Run, really good going a mile down there. Led the whole way and just got caught late under Rocco Bowen. He looks to be the horse that's not only the toughest one in here, but in form as well, coming off an 81 buyer there. For me, it's Straight Remark over Wise Market. He won a stake earlier this year. He won the River Rock for 3-year-olds. Couple, subpar efforts since then, but those are much tougher races. This is a better spot for him. I think he's the second best in here. And I threw in Kermode, who's been, bouncing around the 16-25 category all year long, and he looks to be the best in the rest for me. I went 2-4-5.
Yeah, Straight Remark. It's hard to get past him. That was a huge. If he gets close to that Emerald race,
he's going to be tough.
He's going to win. He has to win. I put the 5-horse Kermode in for second, another 4-year-old, tackling a few 3-year-olds in here. But Kermode, he's run well going long in the past. He won that 16 on 3. And these stale stakes aren't super tough, and that's not, it's not a big stretch for him to win going along.
Yeah, no, he fits.
And he's graduated into a good open horse anyway.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the conditions anymore. He's run well in all of his open company, the 16s and 25s. He's a cool horse, and this race he fits in very nicely. And I agree with the 4-horse Wise Market, and the minute people get off of him, he seems to win.
Yeah, exactly.
He's kind of not an in and outer, but he's never been respected at the mutuals, but he continues to pile up earnings. And he's a cool horse for Phil Hall, Blair Law, and Brian Albertson. But I went 2, 5, and 4. Not a bad purchase, too, about 1,500.
Yes, they've been returned in spades.
In spades, yes, it has. 2, 5, 4 for me in the 3- and 4-year-old colts and geldings sales stake. On to the 5th race is the marathon. Mile and an eighth, will be the distance. I went to the 2-horse Citron Kid. He is your horse to beat. He's a marathon star. This isn't really a marathon race, 9 furlongs, but as they get longer, I think he'll get better. But he's been so impressive in his last 2 starts. I think he's going to have Silent Eagle's going to have a tough time beating him. Silent Eagle's the only horse that can beat him. He did defeat Sergeant Rick and Royal Briar last time, but he did earn it. He ran a good race, sitting close to the pace, but he is coming back on just 7 days, and that's the only little drawback I have on him. That's why I was leaning towards Citron Kid. Citron Kid's had the 2 weeks off, and he might be more rejuvenated than Silent Eagle and ready for a top effort. 2-1, and I put 5-horse El Super in for third. I think he's going the right way as well.
Yep.
2-1-5.
Don't have much to add, except I flip-flopped the top 2. I went with Silent Eagle. He seems to be the now horse. He's running good right now. That was a big effort over Sergeant Rick and Royal Briar, and he's just a horse that, it's just gotten better and better as the meet's gone on, and cultivating that nice win last Friday. I'm going with Silent Eagle on top of Citron Kid, as you mentioned. He's your horse to beat. But in any of my, pick 4s, pick 5s, or whatnot, I would have both. Those are the 2 I think really stand out in here. Yeah. I went 1, 2, and I agree. I threw El Super. He's a horse that's running well right now too. I threw him in for third. I went 1, 2, and 5. On to the 6th, 4,000, non-2, going a mile and a 16th for 3 and up colts and geldings.
I know you're gonna have to change. Sorry, I just found out just before I came out the Cyclone Dan's out.
Oh, geez.
He scratched.
I loved him in here.
I know you do. I love them too, but I know Cyclone Dan is out, so we will. But anyway.
All right, who else did I have?
You ramble on about.
Yeah, okay. Well, Cyclone Dan's out, so my second choice was Bionic.
Yeah.
He's now my top pick. Broke his maiden last time. Amanda Colkin lost this horse. She got him back. She's done a great job with him. He ran long 2 starts ago in a maiden race. Ran into the Include Quinn, who I think is a pretty nice horse out of the Mark Cluche barn, the son of Monashi. Came back sprinting maiden 4. Made no mistake, just ran away under Amadeo Perez. He sticks with. Going long, it's always tough, break your maiden straight into a non-2, but I think he fits in here, especially with the defection of Cyclone Dan. He's now my top pick. Bionic, I threw in Chase Some Money, now in for second. Coming off a good second behind a pretty tough horse in Sheriff Clark last time. He just one that's getting closer to breaking his non-2 category for Alex Murray. And I'll throw in Pop's horse, throw in Pawnee Girl.
Why not? Throw in the filly.
Throw in the filly. A decent effort, her first time going long last time against a few of these. Just got beat by Include Quinn for third. And Pops obviously wants to run her long. That's why she's in her against the boys. So I go 9, 1, and 3.
Yeah, this race is like...
Pick one.
I went to the 2 horses dropping, the 7 Martello and the 8 Robertino Red. I went Martello. Obviously was clobbered in the BC Cup Marathon, was out wide and chasing the pace. I know it wasn't fast, but still he's up against better horses. His race prior to that was a pretty good third behind Run Harvey Run and Fantastic Command. And you'll notice last year he broke his maiden going long. So his lone win does come at a mile and a 16, and that was enough for me maybe to take a look at him. The 8 horse Robertino Red, I don't know if this horse can go long or not, but he's in easier, dropping from 8 non-3 into this $4,000 non-2, which is a big drop. and I thought he was worth a look. And I agree. I put your dad's horse, Pawnee Girl, in for third. The filly. I thought she ran against the boys last time and ran admirably.
decent, yeah.
And just didn't have a great draw and was a little bit wide through it. But I went 7, 8, and 3 in a very difficult race. As I mentioned, once Cyclone Dan was eliminated and scratched. On to the 7th and final. I went to the one. We got $4,000 claimers here, going 6.5 furlongs. The one horse, Peyton's Best, I thought was the horse to beat. If he repeats his August 3rd race where he just got beat by Catch Me.
Yep.
And that's got to win the money in this one.
Yeah.
I thought he and number 3, Swissy Oregon's out too, so that's going to help Peyton's Best chances of getting an easier lead. But Peyton's Best over Topper's Ghost. I was between Cross the Line and Topper's Ghost. Arojo rode them both last time, and Arojo shows up. And not that it's splitting hairs with these kind of horses, but whether who's better and who's not. But at 6.5, maybe Topper's Ghost is better. But Cross the Line is just as live as well. I went 1, 2, 4.
I don't have much to add. I got the same horse. I went to the Maben horse, Cross the Line.
That's just his first start. He can move forward.
Yeah, exactly. He finally got that first start back on the 8th of July, and he should be better in his second start. And Maben always seems to win the last. He's having another strong year. Cross the Line over Peyton's Best and Topper's Ghost. Same horses, Mike, just in a different order. 4, 1, and 2 for me in the nightcap. That'll do it for our analysis of the Friday night card. Up next on screen will be our picks. Mike, as always, you're up first.
Special picks right here. Back in race number 1, I'm going to try Yukon Bell 3-2-1 in the 3 and 4-year-old fillies CTHS Sales Stakes. Then on to the 2-year-old fillies. I went to the 1 Honky Tonk Woman, really the one to beat. 1, 3, and 7 for me. Race number 3, the 2-year-olds. I'm going to go with the 4 Bugsy over the 8 Call It a Wrap and the 5 Aleutian Harbor. In the 4th race, the boys, 3 and 4-year-old Colts and Geldings. I went with the 2 Straight Remark. He looks pretty solid. Probably one of the better bets on the day. 2, 5, and 4. In the marathon, I like this horse, the 2 Citron Kid to defeat the 1 Silent Eagle. They're both going to be short prices, but 2, 1, and 5 for me in the 5th. Race number 6, 7 Martello, going to go 7, 8, and 3. And the 7th and final, I went to the 1 Peyton's Best, going to go 1, 2, and 4.
On to my picks, there we go. Back in the first, I went to the 2 Dazzling Dawn over the 3 Yukon Bell and the 1 Cypress Park. In the second, the 2-year-old girls, I went to the 1, I agree with Mike, on Honky Tonk Woman over GMT Baby and Notice, 1, 7, and 2. In the 3rd race, the 2-year-old boys, I went to the outside. Big good looking number 8, Call It a Wrap over the 4 Bugsy and the 6 Patty d'Oro. In the 4th, the boys race, 3 and 4-year-old boys. I went to the 4-year-olds, the 2 Straight Remark. That might be a best bet of the day for me. Straight Remark over the 4 Wise Mark and the 5 Kermode. In the 5th, I flip-flop Mike's top 2. I went with Silent Eagle over Citron Kid, 1, 2, 5 for me. In the 6th, now with my 6 Cyclone Dan out, I'm going to go the 9 Bionic over the 1, and I'll throw the 3 in for 3rd. And in the nightcap, I went to Rob Maben's number 4, Cross the Line over the 1 and the 2.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you get a little insight into the Friday night program. Our next live card will be next Monday. Monday night, 6 o'clock. We do have 7 more races for you on Monday night. Lots of action on Saturday, though. We have the Travers. If you're heading, please do come out to the Derby Bar and Grill if you can't make it to Hastings. The Travers. Of course, the Queen's Plate winner, Wonder Godot, or Godot, or however you pronounce it, is running.
Ortiz is riding her now.
Yeah, Irad is.
Oh, and what's the race? There's a really good race in Delmar. Mario Gutierrez will be riding Battle of Midway.
That's right, too. And, of course, Canadian Derby.
Yeah, that's right. The last race.
The last race at Northlands Park, the last Canadian Derby, anyway, the last card is on Saturday.
Local guy, Day Raider.
Day Raider's in with Amadeo Perez.
No, with Antonio
Reyes. Amadeo Perez has a mount in the race. He's riding a maiden. Craig Smith. He's also riding Victress earlier in the card. There's a number of stakes races on the. There's 12. I believe there's 12 races on the Northlands program, but that's on Saturday as well. So it's a great simulcast day on the Saturday. But our next live card will be Monday, August the 27th, with a first post of 6 o'clock, a little 1 hour earlier than normal, but 6 o'clock on the Monday. On behalf of Drew, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Handicapper's Corner.
I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.